What's up everyone? Alec from the Mat Martial Arts here. Today we're going to talk about our straight punch, making it a little bit more efficient, how to keep things a little more streamlined, and I'll show you a quick drill or two that you guys can practice at home, make it more powerful and harder to read. So let's get started. So before we get started with the drill, let's talk about the actual punch itself. The straight punch, coming from your fighting stance position, whether you're gonna be a little bit more squared off or bladed, the idea is your hand is coming from your body guarding position, straight out in front of your target, front hand jab, back hand doing your straight or your cross, reverse punch, whatever you choose to call it, however you wanna throw it. The goal here is to make sure that you always throw the technique from the ground up. What I mean by that is when you have your feet planted to the ground, you want to be able to trigger the hip rotation from the foot first. Push off the ground with your foot and then let your hip rotate. And your hands are just a byproduct of that whole chain of command going all the way through your body. So from the foot to the knee, to the hip, to the shoulders, and then pushing from the elbow straight out in front. And the next thing to consider is as one hand is out, obviously the other hand is going to be guarding, whether it's down low or up high, depends on your range or your depth towards the opponent. But when you're doing this technique, you got to make sure that on the return side, when I punch this hand, I am actually pulling this hand back with equal force. One of the most common misconceptions is that everything is about pushing forward only, and that's not true. Everything in your body works as symmetrical motion. So when I move my body right, another part of my body is moving left. Clockwise, counterclockwise, up, down, in, out. It doesn't matter. That's the yin and the yang of martial arts. Everything's got a push and a pull. When I throw the first punch out, I'm actually moving it from the hip and shoulder, which means the other hip and shoulder is pulling back just as much. I get a couple of reasons why I want to do this. One, it creates a little extra torque and helps me with that drive and snap through my punch. It makes that rotation and extension a little quicker, but what it also does is it trains the motion forwards and the motion backwards. You get two sides of this drill. That means you're getting double the training in one single motion. So here's a drill for you. As you're throwing that punch, try to hold as still as you can, and immediately from the moment your brain tells yourself to go or have your coach say go, don't worry about how fast you throw your punch, worry about how quickly you can start your punch. Get that foot really triggered and ready to prime to go so you can push off, turn that hip, extend that rotation, elbow straight out from the shoulder, let everything drive as quickly as you can through that target without a full wind up, so to speak. So, now while you're throwing that first hand, make sure the other hand is pulling back. Not just the hand though, shoulders and hips also. You really want to twist those hips as quickly as you can. Think of them leading the technique and everything else just follows along with. Now the follow-up to that is obviously going to be throwing two punches. So the idea is you're going to go 1, 2. Keep that hand out until this other hand's ready to come back at the same time. And then keep this hand out until this other hand's ready to come back at the same time. Now, so another drill that you can try is the double strikes, double jabs, or double cross. Now, you can absolutely use these techniques in combinations to affect whatever technique you're trying to attack with, whatever combination or sequence you think you got available to you. But this is really great for training regardless of whatever your combination in a more fight scenario or life sequence can be. When you throw the single jab out, you got to retract that jab all the way back the same way you would have if you were throwing a punch again, but this time you're going to throw that jab again. So it's just a jab, retract, jab, or cross, retract, cross, and just really train forwards and backwards of the full motion as much as you can, and don't worry about speed, worry about precision. The more you do this, the more your speed will naturally get better, and then you'll see a huge difference ultimately. But right now, don't think of quick, because a lot of times people just kind of knock, kind of slappy hands, front of the knuckles. So you're gonna go out, back, out, back, and out, and then back, of course, after that as well. All right, so here's a final drill for you to check out. Get yourself a wall. I have a padded wall here, but you don't need a padded wall. You can still do this without. And then I got a nice, cool square target here. Place it onto that wall. Hold it up against the wall with your hand or your glove. So you just finished the punch. And what you're gonna be working on is replacing your hands without letting that target fall to the ground. So you don't wanna be retracting it without your hand replacing. So you gotta keep that hip and body and connection of your shoulder all the way out in front without letting that target go. And you can work speed, you can work power, you can work precision, it's your call, but you just make sure you have that connection of everything's out in front of you until it's replaced by something else. So getting those hips to rotate, body extending. It's very easy to get caught in just the boxing nun style of punches. So really force yourself to extend and rotate and get the proper technique out there and pull back the other hand. But I promise you, you're gonna see a huge difference from just 30 seconds at a time on this one. It's kind of a love-hate relationship in our studio. Our bags class uses this one as one of our stations. They let that target hits the ground for any reason, or they start to slide their target up because they're hitting it low and realizing that they're cheating a little bit. When we catch them on that, they're doing burpees. It's part of their workout. Give that one a shot too.